quantitative tightening, that's basically shrinking the money supply, right?
Sort of. Okay, that's a really good question. Let's explain it. Quantitative easing is when the Federal Reserve buys mortgage-backed securities and bonds, brings them onto their balance sheet in order to lower the yield, which lowers interest rates.
And they do that by printing more money, right?
They do it by printing money, but they don't actually print money.
I know.
What they do is they go to
a computer.
Yeah, they go to Bank of America, and Bank of America says they need money, and then they give them the money, which creates more money.
Yes.
Okay.
Quantitative tightening is the opposite.
Is the complete opposite of that. What they are doing is they are selling off their balance sheet. So I believe that they've sold off, because I was going to talk about it somewhere else in here. They've sold off $1.2 trillion in long-term securities since June of 2022. That's a trillion. 1.2 trillion. So as the Fed pushes stuff off their balance sheet, they were one of the biggest buyers. What that does is that causes treasury yields to rise, which tightens monetary policy. So it's a twofold thing they're doing, is by having short-term interest rates, the Fed fund rate, be high, and by having quantitative tightening. Both of those things are contributing to higher yields. The Fed's target for inflation is 2%. Inflation from November of 2022 to November of 2023 was 3.1%. So there's a couple of things to note. Is one, inflation is trending in the right direction. It's going down. Can we declare victory? Absolutely not, but it's going in the right direction. And with shelter being one of the largest factors, it looks like we should trend towards the low twos. Also, let's remember, the Fed does not have to get all the way to 2 before they cut. So they've talked about how it'll be prudent to cut before they get to 2 because monetary policy has lagging effects that show up 6 to 12 months later. But as consumers, as people listening, right now, what we actually want is we want prices to go back to where they were pre-pandemic. So that is called deflation. And the thing to understand is deflation almost never happens. It's so rare that it happens into an economy that the economy has to be in such rough shape that during the Great Recession, we did see some deflation, prices going down. What you're actually seeing right now is disinflation, the rate of price change going down. So when we talk about inflation going down, the average consumer says, wait a second, gas still costs more even though it got a little better. Eggs are still more expensive. Electricity is still more expensive. Please understand that inflation going down does not mean prices going down. So I want to give everyone the exact term. Inflation is a sustained increase in the price level of goods and services. So they're measuring that price level. So if they say from November to November it was 3.1, it means the prices of goods and services went up 3.1%. So they're still going up. It's just the rate at which it's going up is slowing down. Disinflation is a decrease in the rate of inflation. So currently we're seeing disinflation. What we want as consumers, as buyers, is we want deflation. And deflation is a sustained decrease in the price level of goods and services. Unfortunately, we have not seen that since the Great Recession. And then you got to go back through a whole bunch of other recessions into sometime pre-1970s to see deflation again. So the odds of us seeing deflation right now are very low.